Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be, I'm starting off fresh faced because I want you to guess who I'm going to be in this tutorial. This is a celeb inspired look, hence the blonde wig, and I will make sure that I just link it below just in case you're interested. Can you guess? Oh yeah, it's the Kylie Jenner look that I have right here. It's with the long blonde wig and I just think she looked so good. So we're going to start off by priming our skin. I'm just going to use my Fenty Beauty Pro Filtr primer. I love this stuff. It's like got a really nice tacky feel, but it's also really hydrating at the same time. And then I'm also gonna go in with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filtr foundation because I'm just obsessed with this at the moment. And it is just probably the tiniest bit too dark for me right now, but Kylie is obviously always super bronzed, so I thought it would work really well. And once you blend it in and like blend it down the neck and all of that, then it's absolutely fine. And I'm just using my damp beauty blender to buff this in. A brush does work well with this foundation as well. I just fancied using the beauty blender. And then obviously I need to make my face look a little bit more chiseled like Kylie's, so I'm taking my bronze concealer from LA Girl. Honestly, these concealers are so cheap and so amazing. So I'm just basically trying to make my forehead look smaller, trying to really chisel out those cheekbones because she has quite kind of prominent cheekbones. Trying to make my nose just a tiny little bit slimmer and shorter, and then putting it around your mouth honestly is the biggest tip I can give you if you're trying to like contour your lips. Like, it makes the biggest difference and it makes them look so much bigger and more pouty. And then I'm also just trying to kind of chisel that jawline a little bit more. And then I know it looks crazy, I know it looks messy, I'm just taking this random, I think it's an Iconic London flat kabuki like buffing brush, and I do look crazy, I'm like fully aware, but basically just blend it as much as you can at this point. And I mean, it's really easy to blend in this LA Girl, but you don't want to leave it too long because it does dry, so just make sure that you work like fairly quickly, and I promise this will all come together. Look how crazy we look. Oh my god, I literally like have a beard. But I'm also going to take this Anastasia foundation stick in the shade Mink, and I'm basically going to use this as a bit more of a cooler tone colour just to really contour in certain areas. Like, I really want to chisel out those cheekbones, I really want to make my jawline look like a bit of a different shape, and then again I'm just buffing that in with the same brush. And then obviously it looks really unblended, so I'm going to take some of my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is in the shade 6 I believe, and using my beauty blender I'm basically just going to add more coverage over, but it's not so much coverage that it covers up all of the work that we've done, if that makes sense. It just really helps kind of blend everything together. If you do struggle with cream contour, I highly recommend doing this. Now I'm just taking some of my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Undereye Concealer and buffing that in with my finger. I just think it works the best with this product because it kind of like warms it up in your skin. And then I'm also dragging that down a little bit further, doing the kind of V shape underneath the eyes, because this is a pretty light concealer and Kylie's under eye was like super bright. It was like a proper like throwback to when, you know, everyone was obsessed with like a super bright under eye. And then I'm also going to go in with the KKW highlight stick, and I'm going to take the matte side, and obviously this is another really bright concealer, so I'm going to pop that in all of like the high points of my face and then buff that in with a beauty blender. I just really loved, like, her face looks so flawless, and like her under eyes were super bright, and it was just like, oh, I love makeup like that. I think it's MakeupbyAriel. His skills are a joke. She always looks super flawless. Look at me sipping on my coffee. Oh yeah, so good. It was actually iced coffee weather yesterday, can you believe it? And then now I'm just going to go in and set all of that using my Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder in the shade Pound Cake. I love this powder, it's so good, so good. It's really like finely milled, and I'm just popping that on with my damp beauty blender just because it's my fave way to apply it, and just setting all of those areas, doing a little bit of bakeage. I really want to properly chisel out those cheekbones because Kylie always has like a super like her contour's just crazy, do you know what I mean? And now I'm going to go in with this Zoeva Brow Spectrum palette because I wanted, obviously I've got blonde hair, so I can't go in with my granite brow wiz that I normally do because it would be looking way too crazy. So I'm using this brush from Anastasia. I can't remember what one it is, but I will leave it in the description box below because it's unreal. And I'm just taking the blonde and kind of taupe shades, and just filling in my brows, because from her picture, and whenever I look at her brows, I think it's a brow wiz that he actually uses, but to me it always looks like powder. I don't know how he does it, but it looks super natural and soft. So I'm just trying to mimic as much as I can like her brow shape, and trying to keep the front really soft, because she always has that kind of gradient, and then you see that the eyeshadow tends to kind of go up into the brows. And speaking of eyeshadow, I'm actually using a new palette today, and I decided to go for one of like Kylie's more bronzy looks. So I'm taking the Natasha Denona Camel palette and picking up the shade Safari first with my little Zoeva Luxe crease brush, I believe this is, and I'm just popping that in. And then I don't know, MakeupbyAriel always like drags it like really far into the inner corner and like connects it to the top of the brow, like if you get what I mean, like what I'm doing right now. And that kind of also connects into like the nose contour, and it just looks so nice. Like I don't know how he does it, it looks so good. And then I'm also going in with the shade Zand and popping that in the same place. Like this is a really, really easy, quick eye look, and I'm still using the same brush, just using buffing motions, using quite a light hand because I don't want it to be too crazy intense. And then I'm going to take the shade Arosto, which is like a darker kind of camel brown shade. And to be honest, I just used the same Anastasia brush I used for my brows because it was really kind of thin and like the perfect angled brush. And then I just went in and did a little mini wing using the eyeshadow. It seems to me that like Kylie always has like a wing, like a softer wing, like with like brown eyeshadow or brown liner. It's not often that it looks kind of really like dark and harsh. So I'm just using this just to like frame my eyes. Then I'm just picking up a little bit of copper stone and a little mini flat brush, and I'm just popping that onto the lid. I'm not sure if in this particular picture I had of Kylie she was wearing any shimmer on her lid, but I have seen like looks floating around, and I just think it looks so pretty, and it just added a little bit of something extra. And then I'm just picking up both Safari and Zand on a little pencil brush, and I'm just popping that underneath the eyes, and I'm blowing it out quite softly. I also go in with this little mini MAC blending brush, which I got in a little set. I literally am obsessed with this brush for underneath the eyes because it really just blows it out and makes it look super soft. And then, oh, well done Charlotte, hold them upside down. We are going in with lashes, and I'm taking some dramatic ass lashes. I'm taking my Ariel lashes from Lily Lashes. Lily Lashes are my fave, they're the best, don't at me, they're the best. Look at them, they look so good, so good. But they are like super dramatic. But I feel like it just finished off the whole look. And then I'm taking my Too Faced chocolate milk, wait, is it milk chocolate or chocolate? I think it's the chocolate Soleil bronzer, and it smells incredible. But I'm just popping that basically everywhere that we contoured, just to really kind of blend everything nicely, add a little bit more coverage, set all of that in place. You know the drill, we always do it. But I'm obviously trying to keep to the shape, well, try and shape my face like Kylie's, you know, attempt. But our face shapes obviously are quite different. And then I'm taking my MAC Oh Darling highlight, and I'm not going too crazy with this because she didn't look particularly highlighted, she looked more matte, so I'm just taking it right on the high points. I did notice she had a bit of highlight down her nose, so I popped a little bit more there. But I mean, I pop it on just because I always wear highlight, and I'm sure she is wearing some, but she doesn't wear it like super blinding, kind of like the Instagram looks, if you get what I mean. It's more kind of on the low-key natural side, so that's what we're doing. This is just a little Real Techniques brush. And then taking a little pencil brush, I am popping some in the inner corner because she definitely had a pop of shimmer in her inner corner. And then, I'm going to go in with some blush now, because one of the things that I noticed in this particular look, she was wearing a lot of blush, and it was like a bright kind of pinky blush. So I'm taking my NARS Orgasm blush, which is one of my ultimate favourites. It also has tiny little bits of kind of shimmer in it as well, and as you can see, I'll pop a fair amount of this on because blush is always the first thing to leave your face, and for this particular look she just had like a lot of blush on. It just looked so nice. And then moving on to lips, I am overlining my lips obviously because we're going to try and make them look a little bit more like Kylie's. Like, I know she's got rid of her lip filler or whatever, but they still look pretty big to me. So I'm going in with MAC Well Lip Pencil, and this is my favourite lip pencil ever for overlining my lips. And I do kind of like fill it in a little bit as well before we go in with the liquid lipstick. I don't know why, but I think it's because it's more of like a shadow shade, and it just creates like the perfect shadow for my skin tone and like the colour of my lips, if that makes sense. So I love this lip liner so much. And then I'm going to go in with my Huda Beauty Liquid Matte in the shade Sugar Mama. I am obsessed with this colour, but I think this is quite similar to what, like the kind of colour that Kylie was wearing. She was probably wearing one of her own liquid lips, obviously. But The Huda Beauty ones are so wearable, they're so comfortable, they don't get super drying, and they last like for ages, even with like eating and drinking. And then lastly, we do need to set all of this makeup in place, and I'm just taking my MAC Fix Plus in the shade Gold Light and just popping plenty of this on, because even though she was super matte, she didn't look like overly powdery, so we just want to get rid of that kind of powdery look. So this is the final look finished, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this celebrity inspired look. I really love like Kylie's makeup, Kardashian makeup, all of that. But if there's anyone else that you want me to do a look on, then please do leave a comment below. All of the products that I used today will be listed in the bottom bar below as per usual, and I have started putting links in there as well just to make it a little bit easier for you guys. But if you did enjoy this video, please do hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. And then apart from that, have an amazing week, and I will speak to you guys next time. Bye.